Welcome to the second videos in this tutorial series. In our last video, we spoke about variables and data type. In this video, we're going to be talking about basic operators and input. But a quick one before we move further. One very important key information I failed to mention in the last video: when naming a variable, there are some certain guidelines we need to know when naming a variable. So when naming a variable, we are not meant to start with a number or a special character. A variable name must start with an alphabet starting from A to Z, either capital letter or small letter, or it could also start with an underscore, but it can start with any other type of special character. What do I mean? So a variable name could typically be like, for example, let's say name. This is a variable name. So this variable name is acceptable by the Python. Generally in all programming language, this is a typical variable name. But a wrong variable name could be something like, let's say, with like to name. This is a wrong variable name because it starts with a number. You could see my ID highlighted it as red, which means it's wrong. Or maybe you could say at name. This is an example of a wrong variable name. And in programming language, you don't start a variable name with like an asterisk or a special character, except with an underscore or just an alphabet from A to Z, either capital letter or small letter. When I mean underscore, this is what I mean actually, like name. So yeah, let's get to the main topic of this video. So we'll be talking about basic operators and input. So in programming languages, generally we have the same operators we have in math is also similar to the same operators we have in programming language. Generally, we have the plus, we have the minus. The plus, we have the minus, we have the division, we have also the asterisk, which is also the multiplication. So basically, the same way you do carry out basic arithmetics in math is also the same way you carry out basic arithmetics in programming. Let me show you a quick example. So let's say we have let me highlight this, and remember I said when you highlight a certain line of code in Python and you run your code, it doesn't run. So let's say, for example, let's say num1. Let's have a variable name called num1 equals to, let's say, 10. Then we have num2 equals to 3. So to carry out basic arithmetics, we could do, for example, let's say print, let's say num1 plus num2. You save your code and then you run the code. So sorry, I had a syntax error. Actually, this is the wrong name. So you save your code and you run it. So you see you get 13. So the same principle applies to subtraction. Run your code. The same principle applies to division. Save it and run your code, and you get this.
I found this on the web for turn on your code. Check it out.
And also, if we want to do exponents, you could you use the double multiplication symbol. That's the symbol for exponents. You run your code also. This is going to be num1 raised to the power of num2. You run your code, so you're going to get 1000. So yeah, and another very important key operator, or another very unique operator we have, is the modulus operator. So usually in math we call it the module operator. When we use that operator, it's almost similar to division, but rather it gives us the remainder when we divide a number by a certain variable. Usually when you use it, it gives us the remainder when we divide a number by some another number. So it's almost similar. It's represented in programming with by the percentage sign called modulus. So for example, if we say norm one modulus norm three, what it means is we want the remainder when we divide 3 into 10 places. So let's run it and see what our code is. So we get 1. So that's a 3 goes into 10 3 times, remainder 1, so it's printed out 1. So basically that's the concept of the remainder, the modulus operator in programming. So remember in the last previous video, and also in this video, we made use of the print statement to get in. We made use of the print statement to get in the printout output to our console. For example, you could say, what's your name? Basically, so this when you print it out, get what's your name. Yeah. So in order to also give in our Python code an input, we will also make use of a unique syntax called input. So, and to use this syntax, we first assign the syntax to a variable. We give it a name. Let's say number equals to input. So let's say give me a number. Run it out. Then let's also print out the number if we get the number from if we get the input. Let's print out. Sorry, we could print. Let's see. Say your number is, then we add number, then we print it. So let's run this code and then you see it from the console. Let's see what we get. So if you look below our console, it says give me a number. So let's input a random number. Let's say 4. Then you press enter, then it said your number is 4. So usually the keyword for getting an input from the user is the input word, and it starts with a small I, the input word, followed by an asterisk. So let's perform some minor arithmetic operation and then see how the input variable, the input keyword works. So usually, first of all, before we do that, this input, whatever you input into the system, like for example, we said give me a number and then type 4. Basically, the Python itself, it turns that data into a string data type. Remember in our last video we talked about data types, and if you use the input, it turns whatsoever you may put, whatever value you may put, it will turn it into a string. Let me give you a quick example so you understand what I'm saying. So let's say give me a random, give me a number. Then let's also say give me another number. Then let's say number 2 equals 2. Give me another number, input. Then we could now say let's say sum. So you can't actually use this small letter sum because the word sum itself is a keyword in Python. So we could change it and say sum, capital letter, sm equals to our number plus number. So then we could also print in our sum. So when we run our code, you see what I said. You understand what I said earlier about whatever data we put into input turns into a string, be it a number, a float, or whatever it may be. So when we run our code, it said give me a number. Let's say 4. Then enter it. Then give me another number 4. Press enter. Then you could see it gives us 44, which ideally is not meant to be 44 because 4 plus 4 is 8. but because it's changed it to a string, and when you're adding a string, it joins it together just like this. So what we're going to do now is going to convert it into a string. So, and to do that, put we do it like this. Put two we encapsulate it into a bracket, and then we put in int. Then same thing here, int, and then we'll encapsulate our variable into a bracket, and then we carry out our operation. Let's make it sum. We sum the value. It gives me a number. We say 4. Give me a number. We get another number. We say 10. So now we get the correct number 14. So yeah, basically what we just covered in this second tutorial is the basic operators, and also getting an input value from a user. In our next video, we'll be talking about more complex things. We're going deeper into conditional statements. So until then, happy coding, and always remember to practice. See you later.